Hi, this is Ethan Stanley. I'm Dylan Maxwell, and we're going to tell you about the genre of jazz music.
Jazz music started in the late 1800s and the early 1900s. It usually has a strong emphasis on improvisation, polyrhythms, syncopation, and the swing feel. Duke Ellington, Louis Armstrong, and Miles Davis are some of the biggest names in jazz. A typical jazz song starts with a written theme called the head, followed by improvised solos. The song usually ends with the head again, often with a slight variation. Polyrhythms happen when two contrasting rhythms are played over each other.
We're going to demonstrate polyrhythm for you now. Polyrhythm is just two different rhythms put together to make one composite rhythm.
Yeah. Syncopation is simply the act of playing strong notes off the beat to create more complex rhythms.
I'm just going to make a simple melody. I'm going to play it straight the first time. Then I'm going to play it syncopated the second time. Now, we do syncopation is to make the melody less predictable, make it more interesting. So here's straight. Syncopated.
The swing feel is when you make the second eighth note shorter than the first to get a bouncy feel.
Just we're going to play this blues pattern straight first, and then we're going to play with that swing feel.
Okay.
So that was straight?
Now a swing feel. There are many types of jazz music with extreme styles like bebop and free jazz, along with calmer genres like cool jazz and smooth jazz. Some jazz music is closely related to blues and uses simple blues progressions. The difference being more flashy playing, frequently changing scales, and chord extensions. One of the biggest traits of jazz is shifting tonality. Key changes can happen anytime in jazz. The genre is based on freedom of expression and not putting limits on yourself. The solos are often largely improvised, which means made up on the spot. Often these improvised solos use chromatic or atonal scales to reach different tonalities. Chromatic scales mostly use every note without skipping.
Yes, I'm going to play a chromatic scale now. So all that means is that I'm not going to skip any frets. I just play every note in a row. You could also do a chromatic idea where I do skip some frets, but I end up playing every note in the process anyway. It's a chromatic idea.
Atonal scales are ones like the octatonic and whole tone scale, which have no resting points. So I'll play the whole tone scale.
Okay, I'm going to play the octatonic scale. Here it is. These scales, they're called atonal scales. They don't have any resting point. They have no key. And they do sound very dissonant and out of place on their own. But the beauty of them is that jazz changes keys all the time. It's a great way to change keys because since they have no resting point, you can go rest at any point in the scale to reach a new key.
Odd sounding chords and extended chords leave more room to change keys than normal triad chords.
Okay, so Ethan's going to play an A add 2 over E. Alright, that was the A augmented flat 3 over E. Here's the A add 2 over E. Now a E minor 7. Here's an E augmented chord. Here's an E diminished chord. Okay, here's an E major 7. Here is a D suspended second, suspended 4 chord. And here is a G add 6 chord. All really good for use in jazz music with the large extensions.
Now we'll play a smoother type of jazz duet written by my very talented teacher, Dylan.
Thanks.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Good job.